Oh, you guys, you don't want to go anywhere. Today I'm going to be reviewing one of the holy grail of lightsabers. The Obi-Wan Kenobi lightsaber from A New Hope, all the way straight from 1977. There's actually 5 awesome details that makes this design of Obi-Wan saber different from the rest. I'm going to talk about the price, the details, and if this sounds any better than all the other Episode 4 Kenobi lightsabers. And there's a crystal chamber? What? Let's do this! Well, pow! What's going on, guys? I should make the camera a little lower. Oh, my adductor. Hey, thank you so much for clicking on my video. This is Finding the Force, where I make videos about everything Star Wars, but really just about the awesome lightsabers. I have an epic video for you guys today, like the holy grail of lightsabers, old Ben Kenobi from the original, bam, 1977 Star Wars A New Hope. Okay, technically it's the first lightsaber we ever saw. But we all know that the Skywalker Graflex was the first saber we got a really good look at, but this is a close second and arguably some might say looks even a little bit cooler. Before I really kick this video off, let me know what you think down below in the comments. Do you prefer the Obi-Wan or the Skywalker Graflex saber? Which one is the cooler of the two Jedi lightsabers from A New Hope? Real quick, guys, if you haven't subscribed already, please hit that button. It really helps out the channel. And also, hitting that like button tells YouTube I make good content and really helps me out. Thanks a lot, guys. So as we kick off this video, I have to take a moment to thank you to NSabers, one of my newer sponsors, for sending me this epic Kenobi lightsaber, which has 5 crazy surprise details that really separates this from any other Kenobi lightsaber. So thank you guys so much. I'm so lucky that I could share this with my viewers. This is definitely different and I think even improved over the other designs of the Kenobi A New Hope lightsaber. So before we take a close look at all the awesome details of this saber, let's talk about the quick price and options you have if you wanted to pick one of these up. There is an option for a budget Neopixel version of this. You can actually pick this lightsaber up for less than $500 after you use the discount code that I have down in the description. I do recommend opting for, I think it's only like an $80 price difference to bump this up to a Profi. So getting this saber shipped to your door, fully installed, running a top-of-the-line Profi Neopixel soundboard will set you back, but of course that is before you use Obi-Dad Kenobi's discount code and link. This will come with everything you need: charger, instructions, blade plug, all the good stuff, and you actually can save some money by not ordering it with a blade. If you do need a Neopixel blade, that'll cost a little bit extra. For the price of 2 or even 3 retail sabers, you could have a fully metal, authentic, screen-accurate Neopixel Kenobi lightsaber. You know, guys, let's all take just a really quick moment to tip our hats to the original prop master of the original Star Wars trilogy for creating such a wildly in-universe design of a Jedi weapon using like super unique and creative parts scattered all over the place. Seriously. Just a little bit of history for you guys. If you didn't know, Kenobi's original lightsaber pommel is actually a sync knob. This booster section came off of the front of a machine gun. This upper portion actually comes from a rifle grenade that shoots off of rifles back in World War II. And even up here, the emitter, I think, was like some part of like an engine of like a Rolls Royce or something. Wildly creative. This could have gone wrong in so many ways, but the shape is so interesting. It's captivated our imaginations for decades, and I think it's about time we take a close look. Boom! The NSabers Kenobi overview. Look at this beautiful piece here. Wow, so many details to check out. Why not start from the pommel? This is one of the first and most important surprises about the design of this lightsaber is that other replica Kenobi Episode 4 sabers you can't hear. I've owned one before, and because this is an entirely sealed sync knob, if you want it to be really accurate, you can't hear this like at all. It's a super ultra quiet saber. So the fact that they did ventilate the pommel, this thing sounds so good and loud for maybe the first time ever. Super strong pommel with a very sturdy D-ring belt clip, just like the film. Accurate Booster, even with this little gap here above the pommel, is accurate to the film. This is one of the only components that isn't very accurate, is that this Graflex clamp chrome finish to it, where the original has kind of a matte metal finish. Just gives it a different look. But again, I kind of consider just the sound alone, I consider this like a real improvement to this saber, one that you could really enjoy a lot more. Bubble strip. The clamp actually does work, and when you release this clamp card can come out if you wanted to replace it, but not necessary for taking apart to showing you guys the beautiful crystal chamber hiding underneath. This is the second awesome detail about this saber, is how easy it is to conveniently plug in and charge your saber back up. Oh man, once I've been spoiled with this feature, it's really hard to keep popping out these batteries and putting them in charges all the time. I love this. This is such a great detail. I hope all my future sabers have this. Not only that, but if you turn it around, you'll see the kill switch, which is so important to save the battery for all of your Profi lightsabers. Super important, and allows you to, if you use the kill switch, you don't have to bother taking the battery out if you want to change around some of the sound. I did add some magic to some of the lightsaber sound fonts on the saber, so stay tuned for the demo. But this is also a special gift to allow us such easy access to the SD card. A lot of sabers, it can be really tricky, and you have to use very special like tweezers to pull out this SD card out of very snug, tiny spaces. So this was so easy and convenient to pop this out to change out the sounds. If you want to show your friends or your girlfriend the crystal chamber, all you do is unscrew these two buttons here. They are interchangeable, and if you turn the saber around, you're going to see a tiny little hidden retention screw right in there. And what you're going to want to do is loosen, loosen, loosen until it looks like it's almost going to come out of the clamp. And that's how you know. I mean, you can even feel the chassis kind of become loose when it gets to the point where you can remove it. There you go. You can kind of feel it release. And then out comes, oh dang, this gorgeous brass chassis with a crystal chamber. Woohoo! There is this awesome protective cover here to the soundboard. One little screw pops it off. Oh dang, look at the detail in this chassis, and especially the crystal chamber. Wow. Has this whole cage appearance here and some side windows to see the crystal. Let me turn it on real quick. Oh yeah, look at that baby glow. And if you look closely, I'm trying to show you on camera here that there's actually some like stone texture. It's not just a solid piece of like acrylic or something. There is, when you light it up, you can see some like webbing and some texture, like it's an actual crystal being suspended in this chamber. Not only does this chassis feel solid, it doesn't feel like it weighs a lot more than other chassis, but man, it definitely has that wow factor, even if you have to remove a couple of buttons and a retention screw to show it off. All right, so when you put the chassis back in, you want to locate that hole here and line it up. And you know you've reinserted it in the proper placement, because when you start to rescrew the retention screw in, you shouldn't feel any resistance when you first start screwing it back in. Bam. This little rubber piece here, I grew up with using to unscrew the tops of jars or lids in the kitchen. Just to make sure it's secure, you can use this little rubber guy here to make sure the button's nice and tight. You don't want one of these falling out, especially if you're on the move. I also use this to tighten the very delicate buttons on like the Palpatine saber with the, you know, the red and the green ones. So it comes in pretty handy. It's only like a few bucks, but I'll put a link to these on Amazon down in the description. All right, moving up the saber, this portion, the upper grip, also called the grenade part, is the next awesome surprise detail to this saber. It's so unique. They took a piece of the saber that ordinarily is just solid black and kind of boring, and they managed to give it like a flare of color. I've never seen anything like this. There we go. Thanks to my lighting, you should be able to see a faint blue near the lower portion and even a little bit of yellow in the upper portion of the saber. Really makes this otherwise bland part of the saber super interesting and gives it some more texture. I like it because we're not going for exact authenticity here. I think we're kind of thinking of this as being like an upgraded version of old Ben Kenobi's lightsaber. But if you don't like it, you could always just like add some extra weathering juice on there to darken it. But personally, I think it's a nice touch. We do have this awesome weathered neck, which does have the writing from the original manufacturer of the prop, and the emitter cup, which again looks weathered, has some kind of brush strokes here. And this is the display emitter, which is flattened and looks just like Obi-Wan's in the movie. It's kind of interesting how in some scenes you don't see a blade plug, you just see a hollow hole, and there are other photos that I've seen from the movie where it looks like there is a blade plug. So let me show you guys. It does come with a screen accurate blade plug. So when you have the emitter flattened like this, you can actually unscrew the metal part and just pop it in right there. It will be a little bit loose, but it does look nice. And this whole blade plug will fit perfectly with the extended emitter. This is the fifth awesome detail about this saber. The display emitter comes right off there, and you can pop on the extended emitter. Now, for many years, this did not exist, and you had to somehow remove this disc to screw in some retention screws, and you'd only have like a ½ inch of blade depth. But now you have got more like a full inch, or maybe even a little bit more. I'll measure it, put it right down here on the screen, and 4 retention screws, which means a little or no blade wiggle, where again, a lot of other designs only have 1. So this is a huge improvement. I recommend 2 for the best blade security, but 4, I mean, that's like overkill, but why the heck not? And that's why I love this lightsaber, is I think that sabers aren't just for decoration. You want to turn them on, you want to enjoy them. And not only does this make the blade feel so much more secure, but you know, a little tapping of the blades for fun and stuff probably wouldn't hurt anybody. Oh, I also can't forget to mention that, so this old Ben Kenobi saber weighs in at about 2.8 pounds. So keep that in mind, you guys, that this feels solid. I mean, this is not a flimsy, cheap feeling retail saber. This has got real steel metal parts, and not to mention the beautiful crystal chamber, which is going to add a little bit more weight as well. So probably not going to be a belt hanger for conventions and stuff. That crystal chamber is a wow factor that's definitely going to impress your friends. All right, guys, let's change the background color, turn this on, and check out how good it sounds, and some of the magical sound fonts I put on here from my favorite font maker, Kyber. Yes! Now, of course, this saber comes fully configured with movie realistic flickering blades and sound effects. It's packed with sound fonts and has a Kenobi, an Anakin, a Luke Skywalker, and all those cool sound fonts already on here. But it's a really fun hobby of mine. I love to add sounds, and especially one of my favorite things to do is add the voices of the characters on the sabers. And one thing I love about Kyberphonic's sound fonts is that it comes with all the sound files, and sometimes even more than one sound font. There was a version 1 and a version 2, and with his version 2 of the Obi-Wan, there was actually 2 scenes, one from the cantina and one from his battle on the Death Star. So it's like getting a bunch of sound fonts all in one package.
Ben Kenobi?
I have to stress one more time, okay? Buying this saber from anyone else, you will not be able to hear it almost at all. Okay, so this is like 300% louder than any other old Ben Kenobi lightsaber. Really big deal. 3, 2, 1. So you guys, all I did was click and drag some audio files. If you want to check out a full tutorial on how to do that, check out the video over here in the corner. So the way that it comes configured, if you want to activate an audio track or the background sounds of the cantina, press and hold the power button just for a moment, and it'll trigger the audio files while the blade is pointing up.
I don't like you either. You just watch yourself. Death sentence on 12 systems. I'll be careful. No blasters! No blasters!
Avazon, why couldn't you just mind your own business, man? But if you point the blade down and press and hold the power button just for a moment, force effects.
We don't serve their kind here.
The ship's as fast as it's boasting. We ought to do well.
Blaster deflect. Clash. It's been configured really well to have a nice sensitive clash effect. Not too sensitive, but you also don't want to have to really wrap on the saber either. Straight out of A New Hope, you guys, seriously? Yes, lockup. Oh, but I love enjoying Kenobi's saber and hearing it so well. Alright guys, let's check out the other version of the sound font that I hit on here as well.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Here we go, with full Death Star ambient sounds. And so this particular blade style that was configured on the saber has, you know, solid blue, but has a really cool white. I'll show you guys here on the floor. You can see this awesome white flare coming out of the saber. And I think as you swing the saber, it even kind of turns whiter. Blaster deflect. Oh, sounds like we're on the Death Star. That's so cool. Clash effects. Awesome. Love it.
Only a master of evil, Darth.
I've been waiting for you, Obi-Wan. Your powers are weak, old man.
You can't win, Darth. If you strike me down, I shall become more powerful than you can possibly imagine.
Yes. Sounds exactly like Kenobi's lightsaber on the Death Star. Yeah, buddy. Woo! Yes. Hey guys, so as always, let me know what you think of this Kenobi Old Ben lightsaber down below in the description and what you thought of my 5 awesome details. Thanks so much for watching to the end of my video. I always appreciate you guys. Thank you. Make sure to take care, be safe, and have an awesome Star Wars day. See you next time, guys. Yes! Woohoo!